Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend D.G. Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes, or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Jam DeMatteis, and you are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
I love Ben Reilly.
That's right, kids. It's that time of the month. It's the end of the month. It's time for another episode of Ben Reilly with the boys, the Scarlet Pimps. That's right. I am Phil. I am back. And of course, as always at this time of the month, we are joined by Dave from the Signal of Doom.
Hello, everybody. Hello, fellow listeners, fans, subjects. It's always a pleasure to be here with Phil and Ray discussing Ben Reilly and Peter Parker and the ever-evolving story of, Clone Saga in its dying throes. Interesting stuff.
And, of course, he was more mysterious than Juda Traveller. It is the High Priest of Khonshu, Ray.
Hey, hello, everybody. Hey, Dave. Hey, Phil. Yeah, exactly. Peter Parker, Ben Reilly. Where's Peter Porker? We need Peter Porker in this as well.
Yeah, I agree. Should be involved in this. This calls for
Bit of ham.
Yeah, Peter Porker. What a legend of the game
Peter
he was.
Porker.
Imagine if he became the regular Spider-Man after all this. By the way, breaking news. Nightcrawler is apparently Spider-Man, and I have feelings. I think this is just one more example of Marvel down the tubes.
Isn't that a multiverse or something? Or
don't know.
An X-Men
Don't know,
thing?
but I'm reacting,
Yeah.
Ray. I'm reacting. I think it's happening in the regular, as far as I'm aware, Ray.
I don't know. It might be part of Sins of Sinister, which is kind of an alternate timeline. So I don't, because in that they've had like a bunch of Nightcrawler clones, so it could be something.
Can I just say this? Brevoort and C.B. Sabowski. This is the best they can come up with these days.
Oh, here's the monthly rant. C.B. Sabowski can suck it.
Let's make Nightcrawler Spider-Man. Yeah, that's a good idea. No, it's not. And C.B. Sabowski, you should be ashamed. And Tom Brevoort, you're running and hiding inside the Marvel bunker. We haven't seen you for years. You know?
Dave, I got it covered.
Our whole family can suck it.
Yeah. Ray's left. He's dropped the mic and left.
That's right, kids. Ray had to go poop. Nah.
It was just too much heat for Ray to handle.
Yes.
And Ray just said, I'm out of here. He just said, Dave's going down. Hey.
He doesn't want to be tied to your rant.
I'm back. Just had to
But
get
anyway,
a
I just
monitor.
want to kick things off. That's how things are going in 2023.
That's all right.
It ain't good, kids. It ain't good.
That's all right, Ray. I told him I had him covered.
Our whole family can suck it.
What was that?
Our whole family can suck it.
I love it. I agree. And, people talk... Look, I'm gonna make this comment right now. People talk about the Clone Saga as the epitome of bad 90s storytelling. We've heard, that's the talk on the streets for years. What's happening right now at Marvel and their treatment of Spider-Man is some of the worst stuff since the late 70s. Okay? We are at the bottom. We are in the gutter. That's where we are right now. Ray, what do you think? To you, man.
Yeah, Ray. Follow that up, Ray.
Come on, Ray.
I mean, to be honest, actually, though, I'm about a month out of current comics, Phil. I've fallen behind. I've got it stacked up. Don't get me wrong. I still love it. I still will get into it. So I don't know the current affairs of Spider-Man.
It hasn't got a lot better in a month, Ray. It hasn't got any better, man.
What's happened?
Phil, could fill us in?
I'm just trying to remember.
I mean, we're explaining, what finally around issue 23, 24, we're explaining what did Peter do? The mystery that's been hanging over our head since issue 1. And
what did he do? What did he do?
We'll find out on the 25th, right?
Nothing apparently, because it's like. No, some menace that Zeb Wells came up with during his Brand New Day run.
Oh, that's right. Yes. I remember. Yep.
It's this weird dude who worships this other dimensional thing, and they get Peter and Mary Jane get sucked into this other dimension. Peter gets shot back to Earth, and
Yep.
time moves differently in other dimensions. So he's like, I got to get to Mary Jane, but when he gets back, she's basically. It appears they haven't shown a lot of it yet, but it appears like she's fallen in love with this other guy who's trapped in this dimension, and they've had children. So
yeah, that's
What?
dude. Yeah, yeah, Dave. Yeah,
that's nothing, Dave. And then issue 25 and 26 coming in May. They keep teasing it as the most shocking issue in 50 years of Amazing Spider-Man. And what was 50 years ago? The death of Gwen Stacy.
So they get kill off Mary Jane and all the kids.
Mary Jane.
At least Mary Jane, yeah.
Well, that will suck.
Yeah.
You know what? That'll suck. And I hope.
Oh, the internet's on your side, Dave. Don't worry.
Yeah, you know what I hope? You know what I'm calling for right now? They storm the offices at Marvel. They drag out Brevoort and C.B. Sabowski and bring in Zeb Wells as well. And we try them for treason. And that's where it should be. I'm hoping that happens. That would at least be entertaining.
But look, I think they're subverting our expectations. That is the go-to, right? That they kill Mary Jane. And Phil, you've done the homework. 50 years ago, it was Gwen. Everyone's expecting us. They're going to pull something. They're going to pull the rug from under our feet, and it's going to be something else, Dave. It's going to be something else.
I hope it is, because Death of Mary Jane would suck. It sucks
Death
that she's had kids with some other guy as well. Can I just say that? They should be married. You know, I'm not
maybe
happy
the
about
guy's another clone of Pete.
Well, that's what
another one.
Well, that's what Lilith and I said. Even if they try to go through with this story, eventually they're going to retcon it and turn it around, and then they're eventually going to have to say, "Oh yeah, that guy and those kids, and nothing happened. They were just clones or robots or something."
Traveller.
Yeah, something.
If it was Judas Traveller, I would forgive it. You know.
Oh, what? You can't say no to that facial hair? Is that what you're saying?
Just can't say no to that crazy guy.
If it was the Brotherhood of the Scryer, I would give it.
Oh,
we'll get into that a bit later.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot going on in Spider-Man. I really don't think it's a good run. I think it's appalling, and I hope that the faster this guy gets off the book, the better.
Yeah.
You know?
What do you think, Phil? I think it's. I mean, it's okay. It's nothing great. I don't think it's terrible. I mean, we've had loopy stories with Spider-Man throughout the ages. This is just another one. But what do you reckon, Phil?
I don't like it. I mean, I know, Peter Parker is supposed to have bad luck, but it seems like they get stuck now ever since, like, Brand New Dave, Yeah. It's like as Lilith and I were talking, I said it's kind of almost like they have a bet to say whose life can we sink the most every couple months, Peter Parker or Matt Murdock, it's like, both
up for it. They're both up for it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you know what? And that's where, I will say this. These comic book storylines repeat and recycle, but I just don't feel that this version of it is that good. Like,
bring back Tombstone. Bring him back.
Yeah, he's not the first guy to come on. Like, whenever anyone came on from, like, 1981 onwards, they're playing the same sort of tropes, and it's just, what do you do with that? What crazy stuff do you do? What do you introduce? This feels less ambitious than stuff they did in the 80s and 90s.
Look, frankly, Dave, they need another issue of Pete getting drunk at a party and then putting on the spider suit.
And fighting Hobgoblin.
Yeah, we need to see that again. Something a bit, out of left field.
Yeah, like, throw us something better than this. Like, I mean, honestly, almost anything's better than this. And you know what? If they're so... I mean... I'm sorry to mention him, but C.B. Sabowski came out and he was saying, "Oh no, we can't give you what you want. Like they're only ever going to be friends about Mary Jane and Spider-Man."
We're paying your salary. Why can't you not give us what we want?
I don't know why you can't, but anyway, if you're so scared of the character, just don't even have her in the book because you're tarnishing the character and the legacy even further with these antics, and it won't be well remembered. It's a forgettable run, and no one's talking about it positively.
And how about we start with, how about we put a writer on the book that actually likes the characters? It doesn't seem like the writer loves Spider-Man or Mary Jane. And
so, out of the most recent runs, where would you rank it, Phil? Wells, Spencer, or Slott? How do you rank those three?
I mean, it's below Spencer, definitely. Slott was always hit or miss with me, but at this point, I think I'd rather be reading Slott. Even though a lot of times I was like, "Oh, I don't like this Dan Slott stuff," but I mean, I think I'd rather read Slott than This is
really strong as well.
This is starting to sink to levels of my worst era of Spider-Man, Brand New Day.
Wow.
I remember not enjoying the book then. I would, I try to read it and be like, okay, next.
Yeah. I'm still on for the ride. I don't like it. I mean, I don't hate it as much as I disliked Donny Cates's Incredible Hulk. Let's just say that.
That was fucking awful, though. Don't just say that. That was fucking awful.
Starship Hulk.
Can I just say as well, it is testament when I think it was the first or second issue that Ryan Otley wrote. I enjoyed it. I mean, despite the the setup and stuff and the Starship Hulk and all that. So that's got to say something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, the moment the writer has, the moment the writer has changed, it's like, oh, immediately kind of like a better book. Sorry, listeners,
it's a good character. It's a good character, right?
Fantastic character.
But
it's a great character with a lot of bits that work. So that Spaceship Hulk or whatever the fuck it was, I read a couple of issues and I was like, this just sucks.
Okay,
it's a slog.
I guess the secret to getting the storylines you want is to get to know these writers and talk them into stuff. Because I mean, Ray, what did you pay Jed McKay for that last issue of Moon Knight for that Tiger story? I mean,
yeah. Well, you have to see a bit more Tiger, don't you? So. Yeah, Dave. They have a tick of approval from Dave.
I'm a big fan of Tigra.
Morning, Noel. Hey, guys, remember, kids, it's okay to walk away from a comic for a while. Tell that to the writers. Tell that to the writers. They can walk away from it for a while.
Here's my response to that. You put a piece of entertainment out to an audience, you get a reaction. Please, Internet, don't tell me how to react. It's just like a pop singer puts out a song. If the song bombs and people hate it, so be it. I hate these writers. I hate these writers who are like, oh my God, please don't review me on social media. Well, maybe don't be in the industry and put out shit to a fucking mainstream audience. Don't tell me how to react. I'll react how I want. I don't give a fuck.
That's true.
Really.
Especially if you're working on Spider-Man. That's like the most recognized character at Marvel. Don't be like, oh yeah, I don't want to hear feedback. Exactly. Well, you're going to get feedback.
Exactly. You're on one of the most mainstream characters of all time. Yeah. You're going to get feedback. I don't care if you don't like it.
And let's not forget. Let's not forget the old guard as well. We spoke Phil with Howard Mackey and Terry Kavanagh. Yep. They copped it. They copped it firsthand at cons, before the internet, when they were doing the Clone Saga, and there was a lot of flack against it. There were letters coming in, but they had to face fans face to face.
Oh yeah,
and they had to deal with that. So they had it bad.
A lot of these guys working today are cowards, basically. Like a lot of the time, they're just trying to build their name to go onto something else. Like. They're moderately talented.
They're definitely trying to build up the crap because because people are. I guess there's a report or something. They said the higher ups at Marvel were telling Zeb Wells, "Oh yeah, don't go to conventions for a while because people are not going to be happy with these upcoming issues." And
death threats, like Dan Slott got death threats.
You know what? You know what? It's okay to be passionate. It's okay to be like Dave. But it's like, don't do the death threats, kids. I mean,
I agree. Don't do that.
At the end of the day, it's a fictional character.
Here's a clue. I've had death threats in my job. And you know what my reaction is? Whatever. Like, fuck it. I don't care. If they're really going to come in and take a shot, they're going to come in and take a shot. That's it. If it's just some fucking moron online talking shit at you, it's very easy to fucking ignore that. Yeah. And if you don't, you're just a fucking clown, and you shouldn't be on social media in the first place.
Clown Town. Yeah.
It's Clown Town. And it's professional victims, you know what I mean? And it's pathetic. And I hate it when people tell me how to react to some of the shit they put out. Because I'm like, it's embarrassing what they're putting out sometimes. Like, it's terrible. Like, I wouldn't give it to a fucking kid and go, here, have this. No. I'd throw them a copy of Secret Wars from 1984.
A lot of these issues, especially the Spider-Man run, I mean, kids aren't interested in this. So it's like, and then they're surprised why they're not getting new readers.
Just as a sidebar, I gave my friend Dion, who does some stuff with me on the show, his child is, I'd say, 10. I gave her the collection of Venom, Spider-Man vs. Venom from the 80s, like the birth of Venom.
Yeah.
Nice.
She absolutely loves it.
Loved it.
It's from that mid-80s. I said, you'll enjoy this. And she's like loving it. Yeah.
She had no comic book background at all. This is her first...
No comic book, likes
knowledge.
Into the Spider-Verse, likes bits and pieces around it. Nice. Has seen a fair few of the movies, but nothing deep,
Yeah. And so what you're saying...
Enjoyed it.
So what you're saying, Dave, is you wouldn't give the first arc of a Zeb Wells Amazing Spider-Man.
No, I don't even think it's designed for that.
I know what he wants to hear. No, Ray, unless it was the Tombstone one. Yes, then we'll give it.
No, I actually don't think they're not new reader friendly, and they're not kid even reader friendly or anything. They're just. I mean, it's true, as Noel said. It's a fucking bad book. Deal with it, Marvel. And if I was the higher up at Marvel, I'd just drop him like a fucking stone and replace him with someone else. Just like you pull a pitcher out of rotation. That's all you have to do. It's that simple. It's one call.
Take him to a back alley somewhere.
Whoa! No. I mean, there has to be more eyes on that Spider-Man book, though, because again, that is your flagship character. So
totally. Yeah, you know what? I've got my feelings known. I mean, if this gets to CB and fucking Tom Brevoort, maybe those clowns will look in the mirror and fucking realise they're doing something wrong. I've been saying it for years on Signal.
Hope the fans
I openly challenge Brevoort or CB to come on the fucking Signal. I openly challenge them. I will do a one-on-one.
Oh, I'd love to be there for that.
One hot hour.
Yeah.
One hot hour.
Wow.
And it won't be vicious attacks. It'll get to vicious attacks, probably, if they push my fucking buttons. But it'll start out respectfully.
Oh, yeah.
Dialogue.
Should be video. I want.
All right. Here's a recreation of that thing.
Your mother's a whore!
Yeah, that's it. Get Lilith in on there as well.
That's
she can definitely come on. Yeah,
guest.
For sure.
Yeah. That's a little upcoming for our Frank Miller May coming up here.
Your mother's a whore!
Is that a different accent I detect?
You think?
She's working a bit of an accent there.
She's working a bit of a
Oh yeah.
It's great times in rock and roll. Well, anyway, I've said my piece about modern comics. I haven't got much more to say.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'll spent.
I
haven't as
Ray,
well.
I mean, Ray, you're still reading it, and you're still hoping for the best. You're such an easygoing guy. It's going to get to a point, Ray, where you're looking at a precipice one day, and you're going to say,
Look, Dave. It's just, it's just that I've been not burnt, but in the past, just when things are going bad, I haven't stuck with it, and I miss a few issues now, and I wish I have those issues. So now I try to stick with the characters I love, like
Batman.
Spider-Man and
my favourite character.
Well, without saying, Phil, and even through the thick and the thin, because that Al Ewing Hulk run, I drifted away, and I totally regret drifting away, getting that, so now I've got some issues.
Well, I mean, as good as Immortal Hulk was, I loved it, but it's like there was an arc or two in the middle where it kind of slowed down.
I mean, 50 issues, you can't expect gold, everything. So
but you can always go back and just read it, like it's available. Like it doesn't...
Oh no, it is. But like as the collector in me, it's like, oh damn, I should have stuck through it. So I stuck through the Donny Cates thing, and I've come out the other side a little bit worse for wear, but I've survived.
Marvel have got you right where they want you, Ray. They've really brainwashed Ray.
It's
I may need to deprogram you, Ray.
No.
I get it. He's a completionist. I'm kind of that way too, where it's like you've collected pretty much the whole series, but it's like you don't want that little hole in the middle there.
Yeah. The Chip Zdarsky Daredevil run, missing a few holes there. A few holes there, Dave.
Yeah.
I'm not happy about Dave. I know, exactly. It's just the hassle of going back and getting fun in the ones that I've missed, So you know, Dave, you and I. You and I, Dave, on top of you got to stay on top of the game.
No, you do, and I mean, in terms of the collections, I certainly do. Yes. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Exactly.
By the way, Wolverine Omnibus Volume 4 is coming out in September. Yeah. I saw it come up on my Amazon queue today.
Yes, I saw the art. Yeah.
I got fucking broken, and I purchased that Planet of the Apes Omnibus, which, by the way, is literally $100 US for
200 pages. 220. Yeah, it looks very thin.
But I fucking buckled and broke and bought it.
It's like $2 a page.
It is.
You know what? If I get Brevoort on, that's going to get brought up. He's going to have to defend that.
Why is that so expensive? I don't know.
He's going to COVID, supply chains. The license fee, so I can hear it right now. I'll be like, you're a thief, a coward, and a liar. That's it.
I'd like to actually to steer it back, Phil, towards what we're doing tonight.
Yes.
It's
You broke him, Dave.
No, I was about to say, so the issues that we're covering, it's during a very kind of sensitive time, because I noticed immediately in memory of the great Mark Grunwald.
Oh,
so
yes.
It must have been not that long ago when this came out that he had passed. Cancer, wasn't it? Was it cancer?
I believe so, yeah.
And didn't they put his ashes in a comic book or something?
Yeah, his Squadron Supreme miniseries. Yeah, they actually took his ashes, mixed them in with the ink, and he was printed on one of those runs. Yeah.
Cool. Very talented guy.
Oh yeah, very knowledgeable, and just I've heard he was one of my favorites. I've heard stories from multiple creators that are he was the nicest guy. He had a great sense of humor. He was.
He
that's
brought
what they say about me. That's how they talk about me behind my back. Great sense of humor. Definitely would he put his ashes in a comic book, something like that. No, he seems like a cool guy. Was a great editor, great writer.
Oh yeah,
bit of a prankster.
Captain America, right?
Oh yeah, great. Prankster, sense of humor.
Prankster,
yeah,
Quasar, Dave.
Sure.
I mean, Phil.
Oh yeah, and very knowledgeable of Marvel history and stuff. Yeah.
I've read exactly 0 issues of Quasar. Let's get
come on, Dave. Come on.
Oh, come on.
Oh yeah, Dave's not really into the cosmic.
Oh.
So that's.
I was gonna say then read his Captain America run.
I love his Captain America run.
Oh, okay.
Captain America is awesome.
It's amazing, actually. I think personally, he's very talented, super talented. So very fitting, Ray, that you lead a tribute because.
Yeah.
And I do want to mention, I believe in one of these issues, there's an ad. For the return of the real Spider-Man.
Okay.
Sounds like a big monumental issue. Ben Reilly, you can see through the lettering, the artwork, and Ben Reilly's a bit beaten up, and it looks like Peter Parker.
Well, they kind of bury the lead. It's quite a big event, and it's sort of just on one page. And I was like, wow, I'm surprised that wasn't in every book that we read.
Yeah. Yep. True. Yeah, I'd agree.
It's kind of oh, by the way, the real Spider-Man's coming back.
Yeah. I'm assuming it was in a few more issues, across Marvel.
Probably, yeah, you are right.
I think so, yeah. And
just randomly across.
I'm looking at John Romita's thing of this big fucking mobster with his tail around
Jimmy
him
Six.
He's like, okay, don't bust a gut, kid. I'll finish up in the kitchen. I wouldn't go in there if I was you.
Yeah.
Are we going to go for those first? The 2 Spider-Man issues? Yeah, 73 and 74. Yeah, Spider-Man 73 and 74, yeah.
Because I just want to point out, in the out-of-print trades, they come in first before the Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay.
Me too. Okay. Yeah, where I am too, Ray. Yeah, exactly. I love that gathering of all the rows.
Yeah.
Is that your man Tombstone standing up with the brown coat on? Right?
Certainly is, Dave, looking as ominous
Who's
as ever.
Who's the crippled guy? Oh, that's the Fortino guy.
Is that Silvermane?
I thought that was... Oh, okay, that is Silvermane.
Yeah, Silvermane is in there, yeah.
What's his power set? Like, give me...
Who, Silvermane?
Yeah.
He was a normal guy, but then for a longest time, he was a cyborg, but he don't look like it here, so I don't know if he's back to normal or what, but yeah, he was
he's a Spider-Man Rose, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's an old-time Spider-Man.
And the Rose, is that still, in this thing, is that still Wilson Fisk's son, or is it just someone else?
Well,
they weren't revealing it for the longest time, so I don't know if that was the original plan to have him come back. But after the Clone Saga, they reveal it to be that Jacob Conover reporter guy. But
what threw me here, Phil, was that the Rose looks very different from the Rose in the Amazing
Spider-Man
issue.
Yeah, I don't know if that was just two writers and artists not talking to each other. Yeah.
And we get Slug. I always love saying Slug.
Slug, yes.
I mean, let's face it, he doesn't go anywhere. But
I've never encountered Slug before. Like, is he just like a crime boss?
He's like a Miami. Yeah. He's like the big crime lord of Miami, Florida. Yeah, he's like the.
Oh, right. So he's not New York. A lot. He's right. Okay.
No,
he was. Yeah, he's like a big drug kingpin and stuff. Yeah.
People get from memory, Phil. People get suffocated within his.
Oh yeah, he's sat on guys. Yeah,
That's very like the Blob.
Yeah, but he's not like a mutant. Is that right, Phil? I think he's just big.
Yeah, I think he's just fat. Yeah,
he's just a fatty. He's just a big old fatty.
Anyway, I've got to say, look, the 73, 74, I do love the John Romita Jr. art. Especially later on, we see Daredevil. It brings me back to a lot of classic Daredevil.
On the Senti run, yeah.
I've got a page that I want to point out. In my collection, it's page 11. You see a silhouette of Ben Reilly saying, "Go be a daddy, Peter. I've got it all under control." And it's just a black silhouette.
Yeah.
And I really thought that when I was reading it, because I read these issues today, very effective.
It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, and you still had you going, I'd come with you. But when I was the parent of the year, and Ben's like, "Go be a daddy" kind of thing. Like they're really still setting off Peter as just a part timer kind of thing.
Yeah, or they might be. Well, I mean, we see later on, right? He jumps. Right? He just jumps in. Like,
well, yeah, because he's like he wants to help, and Ben keeps saying, "No, your powers keep cutting in and out." So I don't think that's the best idea.
Yeah. But I'm glad, it's not raining. Let's just say that, because John Romita Jr. loves rain. So that's cool.
Love a rain. Does love a rainy.
Yeah, a lot of good action though. I loved it when they the guys stormed Fortunato's stronghold, I think, and we get the reveal, his mansion. Sorry, and we get the reveal about Jimmy Six. Thought that was very Darth Vader moment. Yeah, I didn't see coming.
I've got a question. Don't you love it when Spider-Man has to travel outside of Queens and he hitches a ride? Here he is on the top of a truck.
Yes.
Yeah. Imagine if you were in the Marvel Universe and you look above and if there was a traffic light and Spider-Man's just like sitting there on top of a truck.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And you're just at the lights.
Just give him a wave,
There's nowhere to swing to, so he's just got to catch a ride. I've always thought that's pretty funny.
And at the end of 73, we got your favorite, I'm sure, Ray, Spider-Man Tombstone fight.
Oh, yeah. Which, unfortunately, I think, having just, given props to JRJR, I think he could have done more with Tombstone there. He looks a little bit underdrawn on that side. Maybe these were the last pages of the issue that he did. I don't know. There's one bit in particular where Spider-Man's got him in a bear hug. The couple of shots there of Tombstone, I think, a little bit underdrawn, but,
I agree. It's like he didn't have... It's almost like there's too many words on it, and it would have been nice to have had the fight scene play out more, because I agree too. It was kind of like... I'm not a wrestling fan, but it's sort of sometimes a bit like wrestling, and they made it a very minor part of the comic, rather than let that fight really, I think, breathe.
Yeah, I think they're transitioning. Well, maybe this is 96, right? So we're still kind of in the thick of it. But you know how more modern comics now tend to they service action scenes like really in the background, whereas early 90s and stuff, you really had to focus on the action and you'd look in detail at, say, Tombstone versus Spider-Man or Jimmy Six versus, the thugs. It feels like it's starting to lean towards... this is just happening in the background. Take less notice of it. It's something for the artist to draw, but
well, at the end of 73 here, it almost seems like too. It's like, oh, we're running out of pages. We got to get this done and set up that big reveal at the end of the issue that Fortunato is working with Hydra.
Pretty big though. Yeah, well, that's a pretty big ally to have. So that kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, you'd have to wonder, like, why Hydra are dealing with kind of minnows, so to speak. They're more like global domination, aren't they, than just city street crime?
I guess I guess they want to control New York. It is like the biggest city in the United States. So
obviously a greater strategy. But this was a good. I thought a really cool issue. There's a lot of action.
And we've got that ad. I've just come across it. The return of the one true Spider-Man house ad. Wow.
Yes.
The 4-part story of Revelations, which I'm sure we're getting to soon. Wowee.
Oh yeah, I believe in June that is going to be. Yep. All your questions will be answered, gentlemen.
But I agree. I didn't see the Hydra thing coming at all, and I was kind of like, actually, frankly, reading it, I was like, oh, that's cool, because I like seeing
it is cool,
stuff pop up from all different, sides of the Marvel universe. Like, I'm always open to those crossovers, so I thought that was cool. It was sort of like, and I was like, by the way, was anyone else thinking, what's the big deal with this massively old guy with his one eye and a cane? Like, why doesn't one of the other guys just wipe him out before Hydra? Like, what's so scary about this guy?
I don't feel like. Remember the last time I could remember seeing him was he had that really scary opening. Remember the issue that we covered? And,
was he dropping somebody in a pit of wolves or something? And
he had that story that kind of, I can't remember the story offhand, but it just made him seem like a real badass. So I guess they set him up as a really, like, although he's physically like weak, I guess it just sets him up as a real big
chess master.
Yeah, because it seems like he has schemes. Because like even like next issue they show. I mean, I don't know if it's kind of like, oh, if something happens to me, your whole family gets killed or something.
Yeah, he's quite ruthless.
But it was cool that when he brought in Hydra, I was like, okay, this guy's really playing with a pretty powerful deck. You know?
Yeah, he's not messing about. So, that was good. I just really liked the way that they brought in all the other crims from the underworld.
You know what,
together.
Ray? This is what I thought reading it, because I hadn't read these issues ever. I was like, seriously, if I had read this at the time, I would have been like, what a kick-ass comic. I wouldn't have been like, oh, the Clone Saga's been going on too long. Like, I think it's a really quite exciting, fun-filled issue. Like, I read it today, and I was like, this is good stuff, you know?
Yep. Yeah, no, I'd agree.
So, yeah, I think it holds up all these years later.
Yeah. Like, again, like it doesn't blow you out of the water, but it's by no means, I think, terrible the way that even like a lot of Marvel employees and ex-employees say, you know, there's no secret, Phil, Howard Mackie and Terry Kavanagh seemed guilty almost of having been associated with it. It's like, you shouldn't be. Look, it is what it is, and it's, you know, a chapter in Spider-Man's kind of canon, and it's fun. You know, that's all it is.
But again, everyone was always like, we want Peter Parker back. We want Peter Parker back.
Which I can understand. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. And I guess from our perspective now, it's very easy for us to brush over that.
Yeah.
Because we know how it winds up. But just as a story is all I'm saying. Like, I think it's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
And I thought that stinger with Hail Hydra was excellent. Like, I like it when Hydra show up and shit, you know?
Yeah.
Well, they're good because there's like, you've got you've got mass, you know, they've got a lot of stormtroopers, so to speak. So
they're real baddies, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like they're like Cobra in G.I. Joe or something, you know, like they're flat out bad guys kind of thing, which is always fun.
Oh yeah,
a slightly. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say I know. Like just to Dave's point, like I remember at this point, I was able to sit back and relax and enjoy the storyline even more because I did see that ad, and I believe they had an article in remember Wizard Magazine, kids? They were just like, oh yeah, Spider-Man 75, it's gonna happen. It's like, okay.
Yeah,
that would have been a big. So you were collecting comics, comics at that time.
Yes.
So that would have been a big deal, wouldn't it? Like, shop and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
didn't Howard Mackie say that Wizard were totally panning the Clone Saga? Like they were rubbishing it, you know, and he, really? copped a lot of flack. Yeah.
Which is interesting because didn't they have quite a symbiotic relationship with Marvel and I guess with Image as well?
Oh no, I think I think they were like, I mean, before the internet again, they were just like the watchdogs of comics.
What's
and
interesting is that Marvel persisted with it for so long. If the fan reaction was so...
Well, it was selling, Dave, for the longest time, right. Dave. So, once again, it's like, if stuff sells,
marketing,
they'll give you whatever you want. But it's like these modern Zeb Wells issues. I don't see these. These aren't lighting the industry on fire. Everyone's complaining about them.
Well, I mean, when I think about it, James DeMatteis and Tom DeFalco both spoke about how marketing was really driving.
Oh yeah, they kept telling them keep it going. It was only supposed to be like 3 to 6 months, and they're like keep it going.
Yeah, I sort of forgot that for a second. Yeah, right, actually, because that's the big point.
I mean, you kind of can liken it also to like it's come and gone now. The likes of Superior Spider-Man, which courted a lot of controversy as well. Again, death threats to Dan Slott and Old Man Logan. Dave, remember that? You know, remember the anger of just wanting Wolverine back. You know how we had Old Man Logan for a long. But again, that's like teasing the fans and like we're not going to give you what you want until they finally do it.
I loved. Old Man Logan, I wasn't like rabidly angry because, but the way they
it was pretty cool. But
the way they killed off Wolverine for so long was so stupid.
Oh, that death of Wolverine was
they killed him, And then they brought in Old Man Logan, and I remember Stewart said it was like Ron Swanson in Parks and Rec, like frozen yogurt, be ice cream, will be nothing. You know, like it's like you killed off Wolverine, then you brought in almost exactly the same thing, but not quite Wolverine, and it's you're so spineless, Marvel. Like,
well, I mean, they were latching onto the very popular Old Man Logan, Mark Millar, right? So that was the whole idea. Yeah,
but really, if you read it, it was. You know, it was lukewarm Wolverine. Like, it wasn't like their Old Man Logan was as good as the Mark Millar stuff. Like, it was Old Man Logan in the regular MCU, in the regular Marvel Universe, pretty much being like Wolverine, just older and grumpier. Yeah. For the longest time. It was bizarre. And they also bungled the return of Wolverine as well.
Well, no, I love Dead Man Logan. I love that run.
No, not Dead Man Logan. The return of the actual Wolverine.
Oh, yeah, with the hot claws. Well, that never existed again.
Yeah, and the way they did a slow drip thing. Yeah, it was bullshit. Like, it's like they didn't... Like, it's like they don't have a marketing team that has any knowledge. Like, if you're going to return Wolverine, you return him in a big way that people are like, want to go down and buy that book. But they slowly... brought him back, like it was like little snippets here and there. It's like no one wants that. We want the return of Wolverine, and they just bungled it. And once again, it's the same old hands that we've mentioned on the show that did it. It's the same old people at Marvel making the same mistakes. So fuck them. That's why I say like the sooner they're stripped of their titles and turfed out onto the street, and we bring in some kid who's like 16 or 17 years old with I'd have more faith in a kid who's 17, 18 years old than the clown towns of Brevoort and CB Akira Yoshida Sabolsky.
I think you've wiped Phil from that for any.
I don't want my face associated with that.
No. Tune into Signal of Doom for more shots. I don't care. Like, what do they get? That's the other thing that annoys me. Like, it's these online comic book review sites that hand out 10 out of 10s to shit. They're so in the pocket of the companies. It's pathetic. Seriously. Like, they, the more lone gunmen they have out there like me, who just don't give a fuck about them. Like, I couldn't care less if Zeb Wells doesn't like what I'm saying. Couldn't care less. Oh, Marvel executives are trembling in their shoes over what someone on the internet's saying. It's like they're clowns. That's what they are.
That was internet sniper Dave Finn, everyone.
I took it. Hey, bang bang. So I guess issue 74.
So this is much better, is what I'm trying to say. This is so much better.
This is fun, and I think David lends itself largely, as you said, to we have the benefit of hindsight. This is we're not living through this because I'm sure we'd be just as mad. Wanting Peter Parker back, but now we know it's all. Yeah.
I can flash back to the late 90s when I knew I wasn't collecting Spider-Man per se, but I did keep my finger on the pulse because I was collecting other titles, and I was pissed that Spider-Man wasn't Peter Parker. Enough to not buy the title, but I'm an edgy guy, and I was like 20 years old, 19 years old, so, the caffeine was flowing through the bloodstream back then too, so, I was shaking my fist at stuff I didn't even really understand.
You think he's angry now, kids? You should have seen him when this in 1996.
Oh, yeah, man, I was getting stoned, like, I was, like, flipping the bird, like, I couldn't give it a fuck. Like, I still don't. Like, really, like, it's like corporate's corporate, guys, and you know what? Sometimes you just got to say truth to power, as they say. There you go, Ray. How about that? A bit of slogan going there. Yeah. Whatever. Oh, by the way, can I say this? In this issue, I will say this. Actually, whoever wrote Spider-Man 74, I don't feel they got Daredevil right.
Yes. I believe that too.
Yeah. I thought Daredevil was suddenly like really wacky and very Spider-Man-like, and I just was like,
Well, in their defense, I think they were kind of after it, like Daredevil 350, they were kind of trying to write him more lighthearted and more jovial like this. Because remember that one issue of Daredevil we read that you didn't like, Dave, with Ben Reilly? But
yeah, vaguely, yeah.
I guess they were like, he was so dark for so long. We gotta have to like turn it completely 180 degrees and go in the other direction.
It sounded like it was. It was like it was a Peter Parker clone talking.
That's right. I was thinking that as well. There was too similar a voice, and when they become too similar, it's just like, well, you kind of lose the context of like point? Daredevil.
I think he was more jokey than Ben Reilly in this issue.
Yeah. I mean, because you even have him set up at the beginning where he grabs Lawrence Evans. And he does a very daredevil thing. Like he ties his head and his neck around a light pole, and that's the sort of daredevil you kind of know. But yeah, just love the look of him. One thing I was
enjoying that. I thought he was going to torture him. I was like, yeah, this daredevil's really taking things into his own hands.
Just can't wait for Frank to get on the scene, Dave? But one thing I was wondering, what happened to General Coy and all these big bads? They just totally about-faced, right? And now under Fortunato.
Well, I think that was the whole display at towards the beginning here, where it's like, remember, he's like, I grabbed random people from all your territories and we're going to kill them. He's like, well, if you don't buckle under now, that's going to start being your family members. That's going to be, that's going to start being people and then eventually that's going to be you.
Yeah, it just seemed really accelerated.
There was one guy who was a when they said we're grabbing family members and stuff. Look on my issue, and Ray, I think you got the same collection.
Yeah, I've got the
page 33. You see Tombstone in a massive
shackles.
Look to the guy to the right of him. For a second, I thought it was Peter Parker, but he's got a massive gut.
Yeah. Foggy Nelson.
Yeah, but it's the classic thing of, how Romita has only so many sort of faces he can draw, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, has Peter Parker in disguise? He's kind of got like a facial thing going on. Like, you can see why I was like, why has Peter Parker got a massive gut? But it was just some random, and it just so they're just randoms. So
yeah, right. I mean, they end up being just your token hostages that Daredevil and Spider-Man have to kind of save, set that up for that. Yeah.
And the reason someone like Slug would care about them is because the next person they would take would be family members. Is that right, Phil?
Yeah. I just think they buckled really quickly. I mean, like...
Well, I guess
anyway, they had to speed.
They're scared of Hydra.
Yeah. That might be it then. Just the look of Hydra. Maybe they could have emphasized that a bit more, that the presence of Hydra really changed their tune, because there was a nice little speech by General Coy in the previous issue at the beginning, like just saying, oh, we've been, this is a chance to subdivide the power. Like, it was a big thing. And then the next time you see them, they're kind of hat in hands, just like looking down,
But they did...
At the end of the day, they're weak cowards, mob bosses and stuff, and it's like, these are the guys Frank Castle takes apart, and they simply can't face a Hydra invasion.
Well, and I think... And I think, too, it's the build-up Jimmy Six, too, because we're doing that whole thing where he's, it's basically like, oh, yeah, I'm a low-down son of a bitch, but I won't work for Nazis.
Yeah. And he called them Nazis in green pajamas or something.
Oh yeah, I love. What was it last issue or this issue? I love when he's like, "Oh yeah, you buckled under the Van Strucker." They came and called him the right name. He's like, "Yeah, Van Strucker."
Yeah. Well, I really
saying Hydra were originally Nazis, right? Is that right?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But I love the turnaround of Jimmy Six here. It was pretty cool.
It was awesome.
I thought that was
He went up in my books massively.
Not only that, but he commandeers a Hydra helicopter as well, which is great.
And he opens up fire on his dad, and he's like,
"Oh yeah," to answer the question. Like, don't you want to? Didn't you want to protect your dad or something? And then he just lays missiles into
Now, I'm going to say something here. If you go to page 37 in the trade. Is this Romita Jr.? Because I thought this art was incredible where Spider-Man's breaking out of this machine.
Oh, yeah.
You got to put it down to the colors.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's really cool, isn't it?
Honestly, if you could take that and strip away all the dialogue and just give me the sound effects, I would like that on a wall. I think it's beautiful. Like it really struck me when I was reading it how good that was.
Yeah, it really sells it. I love a lot of what the artwork. I think it's in the Romita, just the Romita issues here, where he uses. You have to read it horizontally. Like, well, you have to flip the whole book down, and like he expands the panels that way. Like, there's other one where Daredevil comes jumping down, and he goes across 2 pages. I thought that was great with Spider-Man as well. This one here.
Oh yeah,
really cool.
I'm looking at it, Ray. I'm looking at it. Look, that looks really nice.
And I love what to build up what Dave was talking about. When Ben breaks out of that machine, it just like starts firing the stingers off.
Oh yeah, the stingers. Yeah. It's great.
So I've got a question about that. So, are they like Black Widow stingers?
They're basically they're like darts, but I guess they have like a knockout drug on them or something. So
because normal Spider-Man doesn't have those.
I don't know. I don't know why he didn't pick those up after the clone. Peter Parker didn't pick those up after the Clone Saga because
the impact webbing.
Yeah, or the impact webbing. Yeah.
No, but Dave, I think. Yeah, I think Black Widows. I think that's more like tasers or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
Same idea though, similar.
Same idea. Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, so he I think the action here was great. It was a little, it was cool. Again, like seeing Daredevil and Spider-Man chatting away while they're taking on 50 Hydra agents. Is I don't know, just fun to see. But yeah, the real payoff here was, I reckon, Jimmy Six towards the end, and Ben Reilly saving Tombstone. Like, Tombstone's dead by rights, right? He running from
and
the
is
pack
that
of Hydra
just
people.
the old superhero? I won't kill. I won't leave someone die.
Exactly.
Fuck, I hate it. Like,
great power, great responsibility.
I'd be Venom in a heartbeat if I had the powers. Like, I would have killed Tombstone, but he's also got to survive because he's such a classic villain. We can't have him die.
Yeah. Oh no, kind of Lonnie Lincoln. Yeah.
I think that's also a device, Dave. So like every month, these writers don't have to come up with a new villain. If you keep killing off the villains every month, you got to come up with somebody else.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, there's no. Yeah, I'm not saying he should die. I was just like, at first I was confused when I was reading it. Who was saying they had to go back and get him? Was it Jimmy Six or was it Spider-Man? But I was like, it's Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
And there's a really good scene at one point where Spider-Man's not worried about people shooting him in the back, and that's when Daredevil came in. I noticed there was a scene there. I thought that was pretty cool too. I actually thought it was a pretty cool team up between the two of them. And at the end, he says, "I've got a feeling things are going to get easier from here on." No, really.
Yeah, I think that's a nice little funny. I found that like a funny ending, just because, just so hopelessly hopeful.
Exactly.
And putting it into context as well, Daredevil and Spider-Man are, the only few remaining heroes after Onslaught. So that gets mentioned.
Don't they?
Yeah.
Frank didn't go anywhere, did he? Frank was still around.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't think he had his own book at the moment, but he was around. Yeah.
Bunker. He was in a bunker.
He was in a bunker. He probably thought good that some of these heroes have gone.
Moon Knight was busy being dead at the moment, I believe.
He was dead.
Was Moon Knight having a spell on the benches, Ray?
He was. Yeah, he disappeared after Mark Spector Moon Knight. Yeah. Speaking of which, you still got to get the omnibus. Did you? Okay, I've got to get it. I'll get it very soon. Yeah.
That and Planet of the Apes omnibus.
Lovely.
I was always getting that Chuck Dixon Moon Knight omnibus. Oh. It's awesome, by the way, Phil. It's got this thing at the start where it's like, warning, this depicts like suicide. It has some racial overtones, and gee, be careful reading, kids.
It's got anarchy, Dave. It's got anarchy in there.
It's got anarchy. I responded on Chuck's Facebook. I said, I'll take my chances, Chuck.
Tomorrow night I'm doing a the storyline, Dave. It's a Chuck Dixon, but it's from the 90s. It's a crossover between Batman, Robin, Nightwing, and Connor Hawk, Green Arrow. It's like I don't know if you ever heard Brotherhood of the Fist. It's basically them just fighting ninjas and stuff. Yeah.
Lady Shiva, I love that one.
Yeah, that's where we're coming tomorrow night. Yeah.
Do I know it? I live it.
Dave likes, I roll around on my bed on it. Yeah. No.
I could grab the omnibus right now. That's a good one as well. And Lady Shiva's really cool in that from memory as well.
Yeah, anytime I read a Chuck Dixon anymore, I'm thinking, Dave's probably read this.
Yeah. I have read it. You're talking about Batman, Chuck's era, of course.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one where they go to Chinatown or something like that, isn't it? Isn't there? Is that the one and there's like another sort of Asian martial artist they're against and stuff? I could be confusing.
Oh, there's a couple martial artists in this. I know there is an earlier one that's only like 3 issues, but yeah, this is like 5 issues across the books. Yeah,
good stuff. Ray all over it as well.
Oh yeah, love my Lady Shiva. Yeah,
love your Bat family back in the 90s, man.
Batman,
my favourite character.
Yeah, Adam West and Michael, all of them.
Yeah, Adam West. What are you talking about, right?
Into the Dark Knight, all to do with Batman.
By the way, when we went to Amazing Spider-Man 417 and I saw Traveller, I was like, yeah.
you want Traveller, right? And he gets it. Well, he doesn't get a bit here, but you learn a bit more about him, I guess.
Well, can I say this?
From Chakra.
We know that he was created by James DeMatteis, but he didn't get much of it to do with him because he then left the title.
Yeah.
I think Tom DeFalco wrote some, and he had the famous one where Judas Traveller's like throwing buildings around. And I was like, this guy's a serious player, but this is the issue which, Phil, you highlighted before, where they downplay all his... They mention he's a mutant, though, and he can warp people's perceptions, which is still quite a good power, but it's not the godlike power.
No, it's more like illusions, right?
Well, they kind of throw in here too. You know, it's like, oh, he has mutant powers, and anything that can't be explained by those psychic powers is basically, oh yeah, the big mastermind gave him devices, technology to.
Yeah, so it was weird that they consciously depowered him so massively.
Especially since he doesn't show up again for a long time. I mean, this is his last appearance. This is his last appearance in the 20th century. So we
know that he recently showed up in a fucking issue of Marauders, like 4 years later. Like he's been lying low for quite some time.
Yeah, so I'm just like, what's the point of depowering him if you're not going to use him again anyway?
Yeah, it was weird. It was, but like. It's not like they were duty bound to have him as well. Like many villains come and gone and never got mentioned before.
Yeah.
I just think it's a waste of a character. Like even with his power set depowered, I still think he's a cool character and a cool design. Yeah. He's got the host. It's a shame they didn't use him more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think they just had to depower him because you just can't have someone that powerful running around.
Well, it's like in the late 90s, it's like they were so worried that, people hated the Clone Saga so much. It's like once they tied it up, they hardly ever mentioned stuff. So they're just,
sweep it under the rug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor old Judas Traveller. I mean, he's a great character. And but it was fun to see. And knowing this is his farewell issue, I enjoyed this issue a lot.
Farewell issue.
I enjoyed this issue and like all the stuff with the Rose and Scryer. I'm so confused by all the layers of perception. I'm without a fucking clue.
I was interested in you see Chakra loyal to Judas Traveller and against was it Boone? And
Medea, and it's Dave's favorite Medea, yes.
Yeah. So it was nice to have them a fight, and just to have Chakra as like the vessel to explain a bit more about Judas Traveller was cool. But the big takeaway was again Scryer, the Brotherhood of the Scryer, which was it was a very small reveal, but I liked it nevertheless. It was when Ben's surrounded by all the Scryers. Yeah, I thought that was.
Would you like to see a Spider-Man movie that would do some more of this kind of stuff, get beyond the basic beats and get into some crazy stuff, kind of like Into the Spider-Verse, how that's doing that in a live-action film. Get some characters,
but not multiverses. Yeah, just something crazy, something else.
Just crazy. Can I ask a question? I'm confused by the guy in sort of like he's kind of got like a CPAC machine on his face.
Oh, Gauntlets? Is that?
Oh, that's Gaunt. Yeah, that's the number 2 guy. That's the
Can you remind me what's his deal?
Well, again, he's another one. You don't know his identity. You will in Revelations coming in June. Yes, you will find out who that is also. So,
yeah, he's got some issues. This guy, I'm sort of confused what he's kind of more of a messenger at times, and sort of it seems like. Yeah,
he's basically the little lackey for the big mastermind.
And he just kills Scryer because Scryer is he's like Hydra. Scryer's like
that Scryer. Yeah. So that Scryer failed because they lost Traveller and Chakra again.
Yeah.
But also that Nacht guy, he's like a trench coat just
He's
informer.
got the
Informant.
pencil and pad out.
Yeah, very, very old
like
school.
it's like old school. Like he's just like taking notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Davey, sorry, you see Delilah. I thought you would have been quite happy to see Delilah. Although she wasn't.
She was desexified.
This isn't Bagley art. This isn't Bagley. So
yeah, she wasn't drawn as she was previously. So Dave.
I noticed it, Ray, and I did focus in, and I just felt like I was missing a certain aspect of art. Like they still draw her sexily, but it's not the same. It's just not the same, Ray.
Who is this? Garney. This is Ron Garney. I think the art here is. I think it's on and off. Some of the pages are a lot better than others. But
well, I'll tell you a page I really liked, which you might be surprised by. It's where Peter's having a dream, and he wakes up, and that image of Mary Jane asleep. It's very romance orientated, like the look,
Yeah.
I just thought like. As an artistic choice, it's very sort of something out of a romance comic. I thought it was really quite nice. He's functional. I mean, I like his artwork in general, and I still like it here. Yeah.
Not the biggest fan in this issue, but I think the John Romita Jr. ones that we saw are a lot better out of the three issues.
I'd agree.
But yeah,
I'd agree.
Okay. So it was okay.
Strong artwork overall, though. I felt.
Yeah, strong artwork, and it had, as you said, Dave, Juda Traveller. So and Scryer. So.
Guys, I'm going to admit I read these 3 issues today. I'd actually forgotten this was on until Phil you sent your reminder, and I really enjoyed them. I had a good time with them, and knowing that very shortly we're going to get the revelations, which I think we're all waiting for. I'd give all 3 just across the board 8.5.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
Okay, I enjoyed it as well, but I do, I guess, recall enjoying some of the other issues a lot more. The John Romita Jr. art was a big highlight for me. Sure. And yeah, look, Jimmy 6 is pretty cool, and Judas Traveller in the Amazing Spider-Man one. I'd give it a 7. I know I always hover around there, but 7 is strong, but it's not great.
You needed more Frank Castle, didn't it, Ray?
Bit more Frank. Bit more Moon Knight.
By the way, where was Frank during the Clone Saga? He needs to come in and fucking destroy some people. Like, Frank's, clearly on the benches at this point.
Isn't this the era where he was, like, leading a mob family?
Well, I don't know. There was an era. I mean, are you talking about, like, Punisher Warzone and stuff?
No. There was, like, one... what was that series?
Ostrander's run.
Was it Austrian? There was that arc where like they send him the electric chair, but he doesn't get killed. He gets rescued by this mob. There's like a mob family, like the head of the mob family. This old guy. He's like, I want you to like lead my family. You can kill the other families, but you just protect our family and stuff. And
oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that was around that time.
Because I think it might have ended around the time Onslaught happened, so Frank might not have a book at this point.
I don't mean to dig up old wounds, but why does Frank need to join a mob family other than for just cover reasons?
That's the other thing we were talking about. It's like it seems like every couple of years they try to tack some kind of gimmick on the Frank, like the mob family, or make him an angel, or make him Frankencastle, or give him War Machine armor or something.
Give him the War Machine, I was about to say, yeah. But then you get some really good.
The War Machine was cool. The War Machine stuff.
It kind of makes sense. I mean, it's a weapon.
But you get the then those little series in between, which are really cool. There was that Edmondson run.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was really cool as well. That was around 2014.
What about Punisher Warzone? That was pretty cool too. John Romita Jr. and Chuck Dixon. That was pretty damn cool.
I loved War Journal. War Journal was
good too, right?
Yeah.
90s. 90s or like early 90s Punisher. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, that's still what I think of.
And they had
frankly, sometimes I think it's real. I put Frank out on the streets now.
Yeah, exactly. Dave tunes into the news, waiting to see that skull.
All right. On danger of ticking him off again. Dave, are you reading current Punisher?
I'm dropping in and out. I'm not.
Big swing there, Phil. Big swing.
Yeah, like look, I obviously don't really like the overall high concept of it. Yeah, but that said. I've read it, and I'm like, yeah, it's okay.
I mean, well, how do you feel? It's like they're kind of writing it where it's like, oh yeah, he's always had a love for killing even as a child and stuff. And
No, I'm not.
Oh, it goes back to that thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm not into that shit. Like where it's like, he was always a bit. No, I don't love that. I mean, I'm just happy that there's a Punisher comic and Jason Aaron's writing it. It's not that bad. Do I agree with all the decisions? Fuck no. My Frank Castle is the Frank Castle who has a safe house and just dispatches crime from the inner city. Like, it doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. He's just driven by the loss of
and a
his
van full of gear.
I mean, I do like it when they get dark. Ray knows one of my favourites where Punisher's got the gun in his mouth and he's staring in the mirror. I don't mind it getting dark. Yeah, that's no problems at all.
Oh.
But I don't need pictures of Punisher killing like pets when he's like 7. And like, oh yeah, he was.
Yeah, no, the current the issue that just came out, issue 11. Yeah, he's rocking the hand powers and he's like smacking around superheroes who are trying to stop him, like Captain America, Doctor Strange, Moon Knight.
Yeah, I know.
I haven't read it yet, but no. In all fairness, like he would destroy Moon Knight hand to hand.
Come on.
Well, I mean, in this he kind of is because he's rocking like the hand magic powers, but yeah.
Exactly.
But also, as far as I'm aware, Moon Knight's not a big guns guy, whereas Frank's not afraid to go to the weaponry.
No, but if you're talking hand to hand, I'm pretty sure Moon Knight can hold his own against Frank.
Oh, it sounds like a debate.
He has in the
hold
past.
His own.
Sounds like a Signal of Doom debate to me if I've ever heard one.
Hold his own for a few rounds, sure, but at the end there's only one winner, and that guy's name's Frank Castle.
I think.
Oh my God!
He's beaten him a couple of times.
So. This sounds like a debate to me with on Signal of Doom with special guest moderator Chuck Dixon.
Yeah, get Chuck.
Yeah. Chuck will know. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
I know he'd swing Punisher. I'm pretty sure.
He would. That's why.
He doesn't even remember writing Moon Knight.
In all fairness to Moon Knight, he is a skilled hand-to-hand combatant. Like Frank is kind of like in hand-to-hand. He's a roughhouser. Like he can fight. Like he's handy. But Frank doesn't mind going to weaponry. Frank's blowing people away at the end of the day. Like
Yeah.
So
and his
also,
pain
I don't like to see
threshold
these
is
two
high.
guys fighting. At the end of the day, I don't think Punisher and Moon Knight should be fighting that much anyway. Like, a bit of pushing, shoving, jockeying for position, but they're not
argy-bargy.
A bit of argy-bargy in the back house, but at the end of the day, they're on the same mission: dispatch crime.
Although Batman could take Punisher if Moon Knight can't.
Batman, my favourite character.
I mean, they have fought. I don't know who came out on top. Probably Batman with the writing, I guess. But there's a great one.
There you go. There you go. Ask Chuck Dixon who would win, Batman or Punisher.
I think he did write the actual fight.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but I do remember there's a great scene where Punisher gets Joker and wants to kill him.
Yeah. Justin and I are going to get to it in a few months here, but there was I think there was a Bruce Wayne Batman fight with the Punisher, but there was also a Azrael as Batman fight with Punisher.
I'd say Punisher the whole way.
Full armor, full
bang,
armor, the claw hands,
Yeah, Denny O'Neil wrote that one, and Chuck wrote the one where he's, I think, normal Batman versus Punisher, and it's really good, actually. It's a very good... I can't actually remember who won the fight. I could tell you who won the fight between Judge Dredd and Batman. In the initial fight, Dredd dominates Batman. Yeah. And they actually get the psych judge to go into Batman's mind. And then in later fights, they do one where Batman gets the upper hand. But in the first fight, Dredd fucking wipes the floor with Batman.
Oh, sorry, Ray.
That sounds good.
Anytime
that Dredd shit, I'll read that one. Yeah.
Oh, Trey's like, I'll read that one. Yeah,
it's on the wall.
Simon Bisley Art. It's a good one.
Oh, beautiful.
John Wagner and Alan Grant wrote it. Simon Bisley Art. No, it's a good one. Ray, Judgment on Gotham.
Fantastic.
Yeah, anytime we mention Batman, it's like Lilith's always like, "Sorry, Ray, the chance is never zero."
Never. Well, Dave is a big fan, so
yeah,
I
totally understand.
Yeah, of course.
All right. So, any other final thoughts on this? Okay, I don't think I gave my grade. I'll give these an 8. I think I'm kind of between you guys. I mean, I get both your points. Again, I love Mark Bagley art, so the Ron Garney was kind of a step down for me, even though he is the art was serviceable, but I'm just like, it's not Mark Bagley, so.
Yeah. And this is Amazing Spider-Man, you expect Bagley.
Oh, yeah, the main book, yeah. And again, this month, I think, the JR art was superior.
Yes, no, I agree, totally agree with that. Like, John Romita Jr., when he really wants to, can really turn it on, you know?
Yeah. Exactly. Street level, as again, like we've said many times, I think a lot more than anything else. Yeah.
He's got to be one of the most prolific artists in terms of, his duration, and I'd be interested to know, in terms of issues, he's got to be up there. In terms of most issues of comics.
Oh yeah, because
right?
I mean he's been in and out of Spider-Man since the 80s at least. Yeah,
early 80s.
Yeah,
so
like he'll come back for yeah,
which is impressive to
20,
me.
40 years.
Like he's not like a fly-by-nighter. I mean, the way he he comes back more often than you'd think he would, kind of thing.
Yeah.
No, he's kind of like almost like. I don't mean to diminish him, but it's like putting on a comfortable pair of shoes. Like you know what you're getting. I generally always find it very enjoyable kind of thing. He adds to it
Yeah. Isn't he returning, Phil, with Ann Nocenti for like at least a one shot with Daredevil or something in some sort of? There's an upcoming anniversary or milestone issue for Daredevil. I thought I read somewhere.
Oh, maybe I don't. I can't remember.
John Romita, DJ Chichester. I think he was like it was on his like, or maybe I don't know.
Oh no! You know what it was? They were all at a convention together. Yeah, Chichester and Nocenti and JR were at a convention together. I think they were on a panel, like a creating Daredevil panel.
Okay,
yeah.
Yep. That was it.
Have you ever had Ann Nocenti on your shows, guys?
I talked to her a while, like years ago, but yes, yeah.
She's very good.
I agree. No, I think she'd be really interesting. Yeah, for sure. I'm actually going to get this. This is a random one. I don't know if you guys are aware, but Ray probably knows I'm kind of obsessed with like Roman history and stuff. Like I read quite a lot of Roman history, and I'm reading this book called How Rome Fell by Adrian Goldsworthy, and he's written quite a number of Rome books, ancient Rome. I'm going to try to get him on the show.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm getting a novelist who's writing the Assassin's Creed Mirage novelization. She's coming on.
Geez, they're branching out to the
just a big time. This is why I'm taking shots, man. With the big ego. Big ego comes to big shots.
And Will and I just returning to talk more Green Lantern. We just talked to Ron Mars again. So
nice. He's cool.
Oh, you know what? I should reach out to Ron Mars because I read all his Green Lantern back in the day.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it, by the way, too. Like I thought it was Kyle Rayner, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
I loved it. I thought he was really good, actually. I've not read a lot of Ron Mars outside of that.
Well, his Silver Surfer is good too. Him and Ron Lim on Silver Surfer, yeah. But I mean, Dave reach out to him because I think he might have a Kickstarter or something coming up where he might want to promote. So
know what? That's actually a name that I really would like to as well.
As long as his schedule works out, I think he's down to talk.
Cool. Okay, no, thanks for reminding me because that is someone I would really like to talk to. Ray, you're a big Daredevil guy, aren't you? Like, didn't Ann Nocenti write Daredevil for a long time in the 80s after Frank Miller?
Yeah. Seminal run. Yeah, really good.
That's what I thought,
Oh, yeah, she was between Frank Miller and D.G. Chichester, yeah.
And she was like an editor on X-Men, I think, as well, wasn't she?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, she was an editor for something, I'm pretty sure.
I think she was involved with the X-Men around the time Chris Claremont was writing it. I want to say as an editor, possibly she wrote some of the books as well, but no, I think just.
Oh yeah, I think she. If nothing else, she would do fill-in stuff too. Like there's an arc or two of Spider-Man she did. I'm sure you can find an X book somewhere she filled in on. Yeah.
She created also Dave. She created Typhoid Mary.
Yes,
really.
Yes, that's hers. Yeah.
Characters.
Yeah.
Really cool. I saw something the other day about Typhoid Mary. And I swear to God, they're doing something with her in current comics where she's like a good guy now, or so,
she's a cool character.
Well, she's married to the Kingpin right now.
Okay. That was
Okay, really, that's a workplace relationship.
That happened. Yeah. What happened? That was during Absolute Carnage or something, wasn't it?
I
remember there was.
Maybe
she featured in that and Devil's Reign as well.
Yeah, it was something current. Yeah, as well. Fisk was mayor of New York. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. No, thanks for giving me some ideas, guys. Because I think it's always fun to have different people on and stuff. And hey, by the way, wouldn't it be great, Ray, if we got Dougie Walters on?
Dougie Walters.
Get you on as well, Ray. Take as being a very, not obscure, huge cricket legend, Phil, but probably hasn't made it to your shores.
Okay.
Name recognition.
Probably not.
Nope.
It's always a kind of, I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoy my interviews, but I also do a lot of work for them. If you know what I mean? Like, I do
you
a
have
lot
to
of
do
study before the interview.
Yeah, I understand. For research.
And like, yeah, but it's that happy balance kind of thing. So I couldn't do an interview every week because I just wouldn't have time.
There's a lot of
there's a lot
of stuff that goes into it. Yeah, for sure. True.
Yeah, but because I always want to feel like you want to get how can you say the most out of the interview, but also so they feel like they're not just getting someone going, oh, so I hear you wrote Spider-Man.
You want to. They want to be engaged. Want to have enjoy their time as well. Yeah.
Exactly,
Hopefully.
a bit of fun and stuff. So,
Yeah.
I think it's incredible, Phil, how many guests you have on and stuff. I don't know how you work it into your schedule, man.
I mean, I wish I could get more, but it's I mean, I've had a good run recently.
That's good. Well, that's why I'm branching out to like this guy who's a couple of writers and stuff, because I try to go where my interests are and
yes.
what I think the audience would enjoy. You know what I mean? So it's not a whole lot of extra work kind of thing. But I'll take anybody, really. Mind you, I have a couple of people who've reached out to me, and I feel bad sometimes because they reach out and it's like, yeah, okay, like if you just want to come on and pitch your thing.
Are they comic writers or are they what?
Yeah. No, not. I'm not thinking of comic writers, but in the creative field.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's in those scenarios, it's like they're just getting started. So I'm more than happy to have them on, but it's a different style of interview to if I have on sort of someone who's got a body of work behind them that we can.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think it's important to also help those people who are coming through because some of those people could really go places,
Yep. Yeah.
And
exactly. And if you can help, spread the word, that's always good.
And they'll say, "What a great guy Dave Finn was on Signal! Like such an easy, relaxing guy." Then they hear me diatribing about like breathing. Whoa! When they're going for their job at Marvel, like, oh no, we don't know who that is.
I'm not affiliated with him at all.
This guy's taking shots. Anyway, so I gave it 8.5. Ray, you gave it 7. Phil, you gave it 8.
8. Yes.
Yeah.
The intern at home can work out like the end score.
Exactly.
So you can pull out
the average.
Calculator and get the average going.
Yeah.
All right, we ready to wrap this up?
Mm-hmm.
All right, kids. So yes, next week Lilith will be back, and we'll start our Frank Miller May run. So yes, next week we'll hear Spectacular Spider-Man 27 and 28, drawn by Mr. Miller. Week 2, Amazing Spider-Man Annual 15, also drawn by Mr. Miller. Amazing Spider-Man Annual 15, Spider-Man, Dr. Octopus, and Dave's favorite Frank Castle is in the Amazing Spider-Man Annual 15. Yes.
Is that the one where Frank, Daredevil, and there's like speed involved in the playground?
No. Dr. Octopus is like threatening the
ice.
Poison the city's water supply and stuff. And,
okay, yeah. But that one I'm talking about where Frank's breaking down the speed ring is so good. It's Frank Miller. It's so good, Ray. If you've not read it, Daredevil, and Punisher.
Oh,
Speed.
yeah.
Oh,
okay.
It's genius.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll have to check
Frank
that one
really
out.
takes it up a notch, is all I'll say.
Hey, our May episode of our Daredevil show. Hey Ray, we're doing Elektra Assassin. It's written by Frank Miller, but drawn by Bill Sienkiewicz. Yeah, it's like the painted.
Nice.
Yeah,
Phil,
beautiful.
Guess
beautiful.
what? When I first got into comics, seriously, I went into the comic book store. I'd read Dark Knight Returns. I had got Punishers, and I pulled off in a plastic cover was the Elektra Assassin, like say 6 issues or however many issues it is. And the guy goes, "I don't know if you're ready for this, kid." And I said, "I'm ready." Flash forward 2 hours later, I'm reading this stuff going, what is going on? It's crazy. that is a flat out, it's brilliant, but that is a nuts story.
Oh yeah.
It was, have you read it, Ray?
No.
Okay, it's really out there is what I would say. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Very experimental art and stuff mixed in.
Yeah.
It's like painted all, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it's also got some cutouts media style, like sort of some different
mixed media. Yeah, okay.
Mixed media kind of stuff. It's interesting. Like, but as a young comic book fan, I was like going, "What is going on?"
It's pure Frank Miller. I mean,
yeah.
If you can get through that, you can get through just about anything. And later on, in later years, you really appreciate it. You know, it grows on you, but it's nuts.
There's some of those shots of Elektra grew on Dave, I'm sure.
Well, hey, look, let's face it. I'm a young guy, and I saw it on the shelves. I didn't know who Elektra was, but I saw that picture, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll take this." He's like, "I'm not sure you're ready for a kid." I'm like, "I'm ready. Give me
Take my money."
Cash talked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll do an Amazing Spider-Man Annual 15, then Marvel Team Up 100, and then there's an extra week in the month. So Lilith and I are going to cover Amazing Spider-Man 96 through 98, the famous Harry Osborn drug story. So
yeah.
The one they could not put the comics code on. So and then these gentlemen will be back next month for Spider-Man Team Up number 5 and Spider-Man Unlimited 14.
Cool.
That'll be the May episode because yes, June is Revelations.
Excellent. And by the way, I would just mention to you now, in the month of May, I'm for a week of it in Croatia. I think, early on in the month. So if we're doing it, I think I come back on the 15th or 16th.
Taking it to the streets in Croatia, Dave.
What's the word?
Going international. Okay.
Punisher's going global.
So punishing crime. Yeah.
Hey, there's plenty of crime over there. There's plenty of crime. You know?
Exactly.
Crime doesn't sleep.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. So, send your thoughts on all that, kids. Email CapesandLunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And you can find everything Capes and Lunatics, videos, social media, merchandise, Patreon. It's all at tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. All right, Dave, where can people find all of your rants and interviews? And
sure, signalofdoom.com. It's your place. I'm also myself and Richard and various other associates. We're on like all your podcast catchers. Facebook, Signal of Doom. Twitter, Signal of Doom. Are you spotting a theme, kids? Type in Signal of Doom and then type in maybe Dave, and you're going to come up with me. And weekly show. And we have a lot of fun. And Ray's coming on in June for some cricket reports as well. We're going to be doing.
Has to be done.
And a lot of stuff going on. We're going to have this guy who, I'm going to say we're going to get a serious Roman historian on there, and I'm going to say to him, like probably an hour into the interview, was there alien contact with the ancient Romans? Yes.
Just throw it just randomly in there, Dave. Yeah.
Yeah, all well and good. We've heard a lot about Caesar. We've heard a lot about this guy. What about the aliens? And, maybe he's going to say, well, Dave, that's the next book.
That's it.
And then I'll say to him,
can we end the interview?
I've got some theories, pal. Do you want to sit back and listen?
Oh, hey, Ray, before we get to your plugs, that's the cover to Elektra Assassin #1.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I know it well as well.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Look at that.
No, it's quite iconic, isn't it? You'd say it's iconic, would you feel? I mean, I've seen that. In
my imagination, it is.
Yeah. Look at the size of the gun. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the gun, Ray. Yeah.
Yeah, the gun.
Elektra Assassin. Yeah, you got to prepare for that.
I wonder if my wrist is ready for that.
Oh. Roll the wrists.
All right, High Priest of Conchu, Ray. Tell people where they can find your many podcasts.
Best way, peeps, is to check out the handle at RayRayPod, REYREY Pod. Yes, and that will on Twitter and on Facebook, and you can see then, I guess, links to the other shows I do: Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast, To Know Is to Fear Her, Spider-Woman podcast, and also Predator and Prey, the Ucha podcast. We just recently spoke to Ed Brisson, chatting with him about the new volume of Marvel's Predator, and also like an overview of the previous volume that had just passed. So a lot of fun there. That's available now. It's also on YouTube. So you can check out Ed. Go watch it for Ed. Don't watch it for my mug. Go see it for Ed and for Justin as well. His voice lends to a lot more class for the show that we actually have. So, yeah.
I've got a question. Is Predator in the current Marvel Universe now?
No, I think it's separated. They actually, in the comic book series, they've got like a logo now, 20th Century Fox on the top left. And I think they're kind of separating it.
Right.
Which is a bit of a shame.
I was thinking it would be good to get Frank Castle up against Predator.
Oh, I'd love it.
That'd be a great one, I reckon.
Well, see, those I don't know. I'd like both of them to win. The Predators never win. That's a problem.
What about Wolverine?
Yeah. Throw a C grade character, and I want the Predator to just rip its spine out. Yeah. We have to have a win. We need a win.
Darkhawk.
Deathlock.
Get Deathlock because he can come back anyway.
Just keep rebuilding him. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
or against a villain. That'd be good.
Peter Porker.
Oh, Peter, but don't get me started. He's the Peter Porker. What a legend.
The spectacular Spider-Ham.
Spider-Ham is awesome.
It's a lot of meat.
Yeah, no.
I can't wait.
They should do a Predator storyline where Frank or someone like that comes across Predator in the jungle, and we do a storyline about that. That'd be cool.
Yes,
why
that'd
not?
be great.
Like fuck it, like an Elseworlds kind of stuff. Doesn't need to be tied into mainstream continuum.
Exactly.
Sounds like a plan, Jan.
Yeah, exactly.
Craven.
Yes. That would be yours. Craven is hunting the biggest game of all.
Yeah, why not?
The Predator.
It's easy. It doesn't take a lot of fucking thought to come up with this stuff. Really. Just throw some names out there.
Well, Predator versus the Brood. Let's face it, is a xenomorphs.
Xenomorphs, definitely. And you could throw in an X-Men. That's your opportunity to have a Wolverine or someone involved in the mix.
There you go. Get Logan in there.
Get Logan going. Crazy. You could get Logan really massacred because he can regenerate.
Yeah.
You could just tear it right down to the adamantium.
That's it.
Would it be too much to have a Deadpool versus Predator?
I was thinking the exact same thought.
That would be good. It'll be fun, but
That's
again,
fun dialogue.
What about Judas Traveller?
Judas Traveller. Delilah versus
Delilah, get in there as well. Get her going. Predator might get a bit turned on.
Jeez.
We've not seen Predator be kind of like, I wouldn't say romantic, but lustful. He might get lustful.
I mean, if we're going to go that route, why not just do Elektra?
That would be very good because she's a great fighter.
She's a great fighter. She's got some great assets.
Jeez.
Well, it's about 4 a.m. here in Australia.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
All
right.
Yeah.
All right. Got here. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for everyone for joining us. Again, Lilith is back to kick off Miller May next week. And then these boys will be back in a month. And then in 2 months, we're going to get Revelations. All the questions get answered.
Ooh, I can't wait for that.
But until then.
Is that going to be...
Swing on.
Going to be like Starhawk?
Starhawk.